All right, welcome back to college baseball tonight. We got some pick'em, but we got some special guests in the house. We've got former players and studs, elite Division I level talents. Adam Cecere, Griffin Merritt. How we doing tonight, boys?
You're doing well. How are you?
We are blessed. Obviously, you guys get to run it back with us, but we're doing something that you guys are a first. This is the first time we're having celebrity pickers. So
okay. I didn't know that. that. The pressure's on then.
God, I got a little pressure now, man.
I was never
my notebook over here.
I was never going to have the three y'all at the same time, but I sent a message out to all three y'all, and y'all all responded so quick and were like ready to go. And I told Daniel, I was like, let's just roll them all. Like, I'll worry about next week.
Yeah, we're so good at this. Like, it's gonna be tough to beat us. Like, we make really good picks
right now.
What's your
5-3 last week was our best week. We had the first week he was 2-6, I was 3-5, and then we both went 500. Now we went one game over 500. So y'all don't have much to work with. But Daniel,
trending though.
It wasn't the first time. We did it last year with Evan Russell going into Omaha, and I actually outpicked Evan, and so I actually feel pretty good about myself when I get pushed, when I have other talent here.
This is a white man can't jump scenario. I'm making you guys think that I'm not very good at this. I'm gonna come out the gates hot this week, baby, hot.
We'll find out. I majored in ball. I'm gonna ask some guys a couple questions first, Daniel. Griffin, I want to start with you, man. We be pulling insight from you before the episode. I love the way you see the game, and you keep it real. And so I say that because I really need you to keep it real for me. 4 SEC teams that no one thought would be 1-8 are 1-8. Can any of them get out of the hole and actually make a run? Let's first say to a regional, and do they have any chance at all of even hosting one?
Yeah, hosting's hard. At that record, I mean, in the SEC, the magic number is usually 15. You got to win 15. So 1-8, you got your work cut out for you. But those teams, they got the guys. They're just not playing well. And I wouldn't, pack in the towel and say it's over yet. I remember when I was at Tennessee, we were 5-10. We started 5-10. We're sitting there, and then we had Vanderbilt, who was I think number 2 in the country, and then Arkansas and somebody else that was like top 10 coming up. And I remember we were in our locker room. We were like, damn, like we got to go. Like we need to start winning now. It needs to be some urgency. And we ended up sweeping Vanderbilt that next weekend. And then we played Mississippi State and swept them. And then we swept the next weekend. And next thing you know, we were right back in the host conversation. We ended up not hosting, but we were just worried about making the tournament. So 1-8.
That's what I told our guest the other day, Griffin, from A&M. The Ole Miss team from 2022 was 7-13 in the SEC. Obviously, they ended up going on to win, but they were literally the last team in the tournament. And that's not a feeling that you really want. But we feel like that A&M team, they were obviously preseason ranked number 1 for a reason. Like you feel like if there's a team of those 4 that's going to make the run, you feel like it's them. The problem for them now, as you know, they go to Tennessee next. So the run has to start now, and they're going against the wrong team to do it.
Yeah, the urgency at this point of the year has got to just, it's got to pick up for those teams. And, Adam, the same thing, like coming from the ACC, another gauntlet type conference, those losses at the beginning are okay for a second, but, you can't expect to win 15 in a row either. So, you got to start stacking some wins now. So, we'll get to the pick'em part of it, but, I think A&M needs to go into Knoxville and get one. Like they got to get one. You can't get
that was the rule that me and Daniel. That's the rule me and Daniel had. It's pretty much a rule of thumb for anybody who pays attention to SEC. You always have to win one on the road, not get swept, and you always need to take the series at home. If you do that, it leads to 15-15, which is the minimal what you want to do. But they're at a point now where they got to win some series that they weren't expecting to. But I'm glad you brought up the other conferences, Griffin, because I got to come to you, Adam. You were just playing in the Big Ten. We know about you at Wake and ACC, but me and Daniel, we've talked about it. It feels like it's Oregon or bust for Omaha. Like, do you see any other teams that can make a run at this thing, or are they the one hope for the Big Ten Conference?
To come out of the Big Ten?
Yeah, and make a run towards Omaha.
I mean, Oregon, the one thing that I like about Oregon, and I don't know their roster turnover too much, but they played into the postseason a little bit last year. And as a guy who played in a regional and lost it when you probably should have won it, that vengeance coming back the next year, it's like comfortable a little bit. It's like, okay, I've been here. It's great. Awesome. We're in the NCAA tournament. All right, but let's win now. Let's win it now. So
well, all their bats came back. So that's why they've been putting up runs at will. The problem is they really got about one pitcher I can trust. And as you talk about those regionals, super regionals, you need more than one dude that you feel like you can lean on, even if you can put up runs at will.
Well, it's going to take, and I'm not talking down on anybody here, but like at the end of the day, the Oregon's probably the most talented team in the Big Ten without a doubt, right? But if they host and you send like a 2-seed SEC, 2-seed ACC there, can they win that game?
Maybe. Yeah, that's what we talk about with those teams that make the turnaround. If A&M, who was a preseason number one, arguably the best roster, ends up being your 2-seed, know, what a death was. Or right now, Wake Forest is kind of in a slump, right? They look like they were easily going to be a regional host. Now they're probably a team that's probably going to be a 2. And to your point, Adam, no one definitely wants to see that team.
Right. I mean, without a doubt, Wake, they're 7-5 in conference right now. They got an injury to Conrad. Conrad's a stud, obviously. They got some starting rotation problems. But if you saw today, that freshman, Chris Lavonis, he was a super high recruit, high prospect, struck out like 10 or 11 in 5 innings. He's starting to work his way up. I think he's going to join the rotation soon. So once they figure it out there with what they're going to do with Dallas and Lunsford and who they're going to replace, I think they got a shot. They'll get healthy and they'll be all right. They got to give some of those dudes, I texted you this before, some of those dudes that are young with stuff, it's like put up or shut up, like let's get them out there and see what they can do.
And I think that's what, to put Griffin's point before we came on air, Tony V does. Like he threw that one Sunday game off that made people mad through 9 pitchers, but he was trying to get his dudes against good talent and see what they got. And ultimately they ended up escaping, but he's not afraid to run that risk.
Well, think about it, Jim. Like you don't have the one, unless you're a stud or maybe you're dealing with injury, you don't have the year to like say, oh, that year's a wash, we'll just move on to the next year anymore. Like these are legitimate ACC, SEC schools who are filling their roster with dudes who can play. You do not have time to sit there and try to develop as much as you used to. So you're throwing 95, 97 with a hammer. I don't know if it's going to the backstop or I don't know if it's going in the zone, but we're going to find out. Right.
Daniel, you love that, don't you?
The best way to find out is let's go. Come on in.
Dude, Adam, that's such a good point, man. Like the game, like when I got into college, when I got to Cincinnati, man, like development was the name of the game. Like guys with talent, get them to campus, spend a year or 2 developing them, your studs, maybe a year, and then get into play. Now it is a totally different, it's plug and play, and it's just about production. Like development from a coaching standpoint, like there's so much time and energy and risk in development that now it's like, damn, I can just go plug and play any player I want out of the portal. Like once they get here, like you got to perform. Like it's no longer development, man. You just have these rosters stacked with talent, which is awesome as a coach, because it's like, if you're not going to hit, like, hey man, love you, you might be a first rounder, but like he'll hit. He'll be a first rounder the next year. Like, and if he won't hit, then he'll hit. And hit, like, you can't throw strikes, somebody will. And everybody's throwing 100 nowadays. It's just a totally different game. So
when did you get to Cincinnati?
2019 was my first year.
Fall of 2019 and then COVID, or did you play the 19 season?
I played. COVID was my second year in school. So I played the first year and then COVID was the second year.
I got to college the year after you did then, and it was the same thing. Like I showed up, I was this big donkey, raw, Wake, they developed me a little bit, they kept me around. If it was how it was today, trust me, I believe in myself, but like I probably would have had to hit the portal after year one.
No, I had the same thing. I was a football player in high school, got to Cincinnati, and it was like these guys spent a year with me, working and developing, and next thing I know, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Now it's like, man, you better come in as a freshman and ball. Because if not, then like, hey, man, like you got to go somewhere else. Because if you don't go in ball,
from an outside looking in, Griffin, like the whole guys plan couldn't have worked better, because that Tennessee team, even with all the talent, I feel like, there was a lot of egos that needed to be, handled, and a guy like you coming in who doesn't have one, that's a team guy, a leadership guy. And that's when we found that out from you off the jump with your interview. I felt like guys like you were needed in that environment. And I think that's to your point, when you had the slow start, but y'all brought it back around. It's because you got to have guys in the locker room to bring it back around. It's just like that 2022 Ole Miss team. They've talked about it. They had 5 or 6 seniors that were 4 or 5 year guys that were able to bring that back around.
Yeah. And I think those Tennessee kids that year, all great dudes. I love them. I think they kind of had the ego from the year before, the 28-2 ridiculous SEC record or that year, and they lose in the Super Regional to Notre Dame. But I think those kids kind of came off that, it was now their turn to be, start playing, because, that whole team gets drafted or whatever the year before. And it's like, but they didn't know what they didn't know yet. Like, they were on the team, but they had been playing. Like, there's a lot to be learned playing versus sitting there and, pinch hitting or playing midweeks. Like, it's a totally different game.
And it's funny, the parallels between you and Adam, because, after he left, that Wake Forest team dealt with the same thing. So everybody knew who they were. They made the run to Omaha. They had a bunch of dudes come back. Chase Burns comes over, their preseason #1. And then they had all sorts of struggles that no one saw coming. So it's crazy how that's the assumption. Like you say, the next year, everything's going to be perfect. We see it right now with A&M, a team that made the finals. Everybody thought they were going to be good as soon as us, but their coach leaves, which is a massive factor. And then it just all starts to crumble.
Yeah. You lose, and I'm not saying this is what happened to Wake, but you lose with the plug and play, you lose your soul, you lose the heart of the squad,
Right, it's a totally new team every year.
Yes, you lose the people who love the university for 4 years. They love it, and I mean, it's just how it is these days. That's just college baseball. It used to not be like that. That's just college sports.
And the guys now, I think the programs that are successful with the plug and play are, like we said, it's the coaches that are getting the guys that love the sport, and then they learn to love the school because it's the right fit. And now you got a guy that's super talented that loves the sport, and now he fits in, so he loves the school, and now you got something.
Yeah, I feel like this could expose coaches who maybe aren't the best at leadership and being player guys, when you can't get guys who come in to be a part of the culture. Like I said, anybody can feel how they want about Tony V, but the winning is there, right? The guys come on here and say what they say. And, for Wake, obviously, we were just talking about the other day, Adam, Coach Walter with 900 wins, his resume speaks for itself as well.
I mean, yeah, Coach Walt got it going on. He's all right. He's been around the block a couple times. He's seen good teams. He's seen bad teams. He's able to talk to anyone. He's able to adapt. He's got a great assistant coaches. Those are what you need in today's day and age of college athletics, and that's how he's been able to stick around. The game's ever adapting. You talk about Tony V. I've never got to meet him, but I've heard all great things of how he just adapts with his players, adapts with the game over and over. And Walt's been, doing the same thing for a while. A lot different, probably recruiting to a small private school than it is to a bigger public school. But, Walt got it going on. I'm happy. He did get his 900th win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, that was awesome. So,
yeah, we were actually talking. We were doing the math, and with the way Wake puts up wins, he'll beat 1,000 in no time.
You'd hope 2 years, right?
Yeah, we maxed it at 3, right? Saying if you had a bad season in there. So yeah, I would think so. And I feel like, man, 900 speaks for itself. But you put that 1,000, you put that comma there, it hits different. But I'll say this, and because we could do this all day, and amazingly enough, Hunter hadn't still showed up as we've just been doing this. But guys, I feel like this insight was something we really needed, because the game, like you said, is evolving, it's changing. People have trouble just understanding what's going on. They see it the wrong way. They judge these players, in a way that they shouldn't, because they don't understand it's their livelihood and how they want to be able to handle their future going forward. These coaches have to navigate everything, the conferences, the money, all this stuff that comes into it. So, man, I'm glad to hear you guys talk about it, because y'all are a part of when it really was changing. And I imagine it's just going to keep changing, because, the roster number changes, next year. So the work is only harder for these coaches because they're going to have guys who commit. They're going to come there, going to think that they're going to have a spot, and they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at High Point for the fall, 3 months, as player development kind of assistant coach. The talks that go on in that coach's office, in that coach's room, I don't know, like, how they do it so well is super impressive to me. It's super impressive to me. I mean, they've got 5 coaches total maybe on staff, and they got to get it done, take care of 40 year in and year out. Comparatively to, I'm in pro ball right now, we got 15 people in the dugout. Like, we got a coach for a coach. We got coaches for. They said today, I heard a pitching coach say that we're trying to have one pitching coach, like one pitcher has one pitching coach. Like that's all you talk to, just one guy.
Just wait. If you go high enough, you have a guy that just creates bats, a physicist, just in the dugout.
So it's all pretty wild, and it is cool. I respect what the college coach is doing right now. I really do.
It's a grind, man. It's definitely a grind, but let's get into this, boys.
Yeah, let's pick them.
They were just dunking us, man, because they knew they couldn't stand this heat.
Listen, we can talk ball all night. We can talk ball all night.
We knew this from both y'all's first episodes. I mean, and Griffin, I remember shouting yours out. I felt like I got an education when you came on the first time.
Yeah.
Well, man, when you play 5 years of college ball, man, you hopefully you leave with some knowledge. So.
You got to, man. It's more. You're learning more than just what's on that degree, man.
Yeah. Now I'm in dental school, man. So I'm over here looking at teeth and books all day. When I get a chance to talk baseball, like somebody better watch out because I'm coming.
Yeah.
About
smart guy glasses on.
Molars and incisors and
how about spin rate and torpedo bats? Let's talk about that.
Let's talk that,
Daniel. But before you ask these, I have a good reason why I think Hunter ducked out. I actually had the video clip ready of Kentucky stalling till the curfew. I think he knew it was coming. I think he was ducking it.
No, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. I got to show these guys the Vandy clip real quick. If y'all want to see the highlights from the Vandy game today.
We believe that this is a freshman.
It's pretty special, boys.
Don't get me started. I'll get in trouble. I'll have Tony call me tomorrow.
That's got to be my boy Ty Blankmeyer doing that over there, man. When he was here at Wake, he was always making stuff fun, and we were always doing some stupid stuff like that, man. And he's all for it. So
it must be fun to y'all. You gotta realize the perspective on the outside. I mean, it looks like they're playing Ring Around the Rosie, man. It's a tough take.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I've been up in the locker room with him, and it totally makes sense to me that they're just doing it. They don't care. They're out there playing ball.
Now I wish I wouldn't have brought it up, Daniel. He makes it justifiable. That's been our way to go after Vandy.
I'll back him up here too for a second. I'll say, I was talking about how plug and play days, NIL, portal, money, whatever. It's hard to bring guys together. You want to bring a bunch of dudes together, have them do dumb shit, man. Like doing dumb shit brings guys together faster than anything ever. Just make them do stupid stuff together, and they're all like, "God, this is stupid," but like it's fun. And then next thing you know, like guys buy into just enjoying being around each other. So as much as eyewash as I think doing Ring Around the Rosie in the outfield is that right there. There's probably some value in it somewhere. So, and it's not like Coach Korver doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm sure there's something going on.
Yeah, it's like you're always on every team that you're on. You have that one guy that is that guy, and you'll never forget on every team that you're on. You'll never forget who that one guy was.
Hunter Ensley for me.
Yeah, I mean they honestly they're the heartbeat of the culture of the team, really. Because they're able to separate, pressure, intensity, good times, failure, bad times, and they're able to be that person that's in the middle and keep everybody very centered and very balanced so that everyone's not one way or the other. So you got to have those guys for sure. But y'all didn't come here to talk about Vanderbilt. Y'all came here to pick some games. So let's jump into this first game out of the gate. We're going to start with Jim's team, the LSU Tigers traveling to Oklahoma. LSU 26-3, Oklahoma 22-5. Oklahoma got some arms. Maybe the surprise of the season in the SEC. Number 10 team. This is a big matchup for them. Big home series. Adam, I'll start with you. Who you got?
I got LSU 2 out of 3. Oklahoma surprising some people. But at the end of the day, I don't know if they're ready for this yet. It's at home, so it gives them a little bit of a better shot. But I'm going LSU 2 out of 3, no question for me.
All right. Griffin, you heard Adam's take. What you got?
I got to piss Jim off and say I'm taking Oklahoma.
Ooh.
I'm going to take them 2 out of 3. I'm taking them Friday night. I like their Friday guy, Witherspoon.
Yeah, you got to say the first name because you got both of them.
Yep. Yeah, I'm taking him Friday night, and I think they win Saturday. And then I think LSU out-depths them on Sunday is my guess. But, I'm taking them at home. There's a little theme on my picks here with the home and away. But I like them at home, new spot at LSU, getting out somewhere they've never been. I like Oklahoma.
There you go. Jim, do I even got to ask?
Yeah, I got to break this thing down. So I know what he's talking about. 75% of the time, just about SEC home teams take care of business over the 4 years. I was the actual one that broke the stat 3 years ago, Daniel. And so I get what he's saying. But let me tell you, there's supposed to be weather all weekend. Bad. JJ is on the umpire crew. He said they expect many delays. LSU just came off 3 weather delays against Mississippi State. They are prepared for this. They are seasoned. And you know what? Kyson Witherspoon has to go against Cade Anderson, Daniel. And Cade Anderson can absolutely shove. So give me LSU on the sweep.
Well, I'll give you this.
Jim, I don't mind that take. I think that's a decent take.
Thank you.
You're going to ask me after I just sent home Cade Anderson, who I think?
Well, I mean, in Survivor, and I felt like we really didn't want to. Ryan Prager had immunity. That's the only reason he went home.
I mean, but let's be.
I get it.
Let's be real. Cade, I love Cade, but he didn't have an outing that if he had the same one this weekend, he's going to pick up a W.
Back-to-back outings like that. Make your pick.
Give me Oklahoma. 2 out of 3. Friday, Sunday.
So me and Adam are going to go up 1. I see where we're at. I'm keeping track of Adam now.
It's you do need to worry about you though. Worry about you. Don't worry about me and Griffin. We got this. All right. Next matchup, Ole Miss traveling to Kentucky. Kentucky fired up this weekend after that Texas A&M. Coaches yelling, players yelling, a lot of delays going on. There wasn't even no rain and people are delaying. But I'll start this off. I'm going to make it very simple. I think Ole Miss is sitting 9th in the country, 22-6. They're going to go to Kentucky, and they're going to make an unranked Kentucky team feel it. Like, Adam, you know what that means. They're going to make them feel it. All right? It's going to be Ole Miss, 3 games, sweeping them at Kentucky. No problem. They're going to wipe their hands, and guess what, Kentucky? Ole Miss going to go home in plenty of time. Like 4:30 is not even going to be a problem. They're going to be on the bus all the way headed to Oxford, halfway there by 4:30. So don't you got to worry about that. Jim, who you got?
Give me Ole Miss taking 2 out of 3. Right now, Riley Maddox is just struggling on Saturday. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold that spot. I hate to talk negatively about a guest of this show, but he's got like 4 games in a row. So he's trending downwards. And with that, Kentucky hit the ball so well last weekend. I see that they can take advantage of guys in the wrong spot. I don't think they're a bad enough team. Yes, they're the youngest team in the SEC, but I don't see them getting swept at home. So I see them taking 1.
Gotcha. Griffin, who you got?
I'm taking Kentucky just because I played at Kentucky, and it's a tough place to play, and the weather's not going to be nice, and the wind's going to be blowing in like it does every day in Kentucky's field. And I think that somehow, some way, every year, the way Kentucky does, they find a way to win games. And I think they find a way to win the series. I don't think they sweep. I think Ole Miss is the better team. But I think this is my upset pick. I think Kentucky, the worst team here, wins the series. 2 out of 3.
Wow. Adam, what you got to say about that? Ole Miss at Kentucky.
Well, I think getting a sweep on the road, taking a sweep on the road, DB,
Hey,
Really?
yeah.
On the road.
DB
It's
doesn't do well in
obviously
pick
on
'em.
the road.
He wasn't lying.
Come
Look.
on now. I would say, listen, I like Kentucky's coach. I like the little bit of attitude. I get it. They lose the series though. Ole Miss wins 2 out of 3. They're playing good. They're playing hot ball. Everybody wants to play at Ole Miss. That roster's stacked. You know, I could see it. I'm going 2 out of 3. Ole Miss at Kentucky. Definitely not a sweep. It'll be closer than you think, DB.
So
I'm not saying it's not.
Me and Adam are at 2, and you and Griffin are 0. I see where we're at. Keep trending.
How are
because we're going to get the first 2 right.
I picked the same thing as you. I just said they're going to sweep.
Oh, you said sweep. I was saying going the other way. Well, you got one, whatever.
Hey, like I said, you need to worry about you, brother. All right. Kansas State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, sorry.
Daniel, I had to put this one on here. Both our guests next week come from each of these teams. So somebody's going to come on here happy and somebody's going to come on here sad.
Yeah. This is let me throw this one Griffin's way. Griffin, Kansas State in the top 25. Oklahoma State reeling is started the year in the top 25, in the top 15, and now they are out of it and kind of reeling. So who you got?
Yeah, I'm not super well versed on the Big 12 baseball, although my former school Cincinnati's in there now. But when it's a toss-up, man, weekend series with quality teams, I got to go home team. I got to go home team and take Oklahoma State, man. I'm telling you, winning on the road is hard. Winning a series on the road is hard. When I was in the SEC at UT, it was don't get swept. Don't get swept during conference play. Get 1 or 2 on the roads. Win the series at home. Sweep twice at home. You win 17 games. You're in.
He says that, Daniel, but the only series I've ever seen Tennessee lose in the 4 years where I've went and seen them on the road was that LSU 2023 team with Skeens. Outside of that, I've watched them walk into both Mississippi schools and absolutely skull drag them. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that LSU team. But what happened Sunday? We got our ass kicked Friday. Got our ass kicked Saturday.
We let QB1 have one because we like
Salvage Sunday, man. Got out there with a win, and it was all right.
All right. Adam, who you got?
Kansas State at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State played a lot of good non-conference matchups at the beginning of the year. They're reeling right now a little bit. Winning at home is much easier than winning on the road, like we keep talking about. They got some power arms. They figure it out. They take 2 out of 3. I could see them sweeping the series versus Kansas State at home. Kansas State just got in the top 25. Oklahoma State got a better roster. They probably got better stuff on the mound, and it's at home. They're taking 2 out of 3 for sure. They could sweep that series.
I'm a man, and I'm 40. And every time this situation comes up where I want to take Oklahoma State, I take them, and guess what? They get destroyed.
Don't take
every
them
single
now.
every single time.
Kansas State.
But when I take the other team, they shockingly they score. Watch, I'm gonna take Kansas State to win 2 of 3, but I guarantee you, Oklahoma State is gonna put up 15 runs in game 1, 25 in game 2, and 6 in game 3, and they'll win 2 and lose 1. But I'm still gonna take Kansas State to win 2. So,
I was really hoping you would take Oklahoma State, so I could just easily take Oklahoma State and hedge myself here, and nobody would gain anything on me because I really want to take Kansas State. I really think this is the definition of a toss-up. I like Maximus Martin for Kansas State. Give me Oklahoma State taking 2 out of 3 at home, but I don't even believe it.
See, we've done this so many times with Oklahoma State guys that we don't even believe ourselves if we pick them.
They've blown an 8-leg parlay for us that we were going to ride the money, and there came Oklahoma State. And Daniel's like, "Why did you pick them?" I don't know, man. I keep doing it.
Just a glutton for punishment. All right, Griffin, we're going to go to your boys. Texas A&M traveling to Knoxville. All right, who you got? Is it even a question for you?
Yeah, it's the wrong guy if you wanted some controversy. I got the Vols again. A&M once again, preseason #1, very talented team, but not trending, playing with buzzsaw, man. And I think Prager's real good. I think Doyle wins Friday. I think they win Saturday, and I think they win Sunday. I think it's a clean sweep, and give them 3 more conference wins and move on.
Let me ask you this, Griffin. Do you think national championship series last year does anything for Texas A&M as far as like making the target on Tennessee's back bigger or making the game a little bit harder for Tennessee to take this series?
I can see where you're coming from. In my opinion, I think A&M is probably so self-conscious right now of what's going on with them that I don't even know if they know who they're playing. They're playing like a team that's just like they're rolling out to the game. They see they got a game at 7 o'clock. They're showing up, but they're so worried about themselves, which is a good thing when you're winning. When you're losing, it seems like there's like a fire going on. They're trying to hit. They're trying to pitch. I saw tonight they put up 20 runs in their midweek, so maybe something clicked. But I think they're so focused on figuring and righting their ship that I don't even think they're thinking about this as like a rematch. I think they're trying to go in and try to get a win to get back on the right side of the board in the SEC, because that urgency panic, it's setting in at 9 losses already, or 8 losses.
Yep. Jim.
Can I do the Kirk Herbstreit? I'm going to be there, so I can't pick it. No.
No, because you'll be the guy that turns around and puts it on a parlay.
All right, so because they do play in a Mickey Mouse Park, I do think Laviolette continues his heater. I do think Ensler, Harrison, I think they put up some runs. I think you get an absolute slugfest at least one of these games. But I do agree with Griffin on the first game. Ultimately, I feel like Liam Doyle at home. But here's what I'm going to say different than Griffin. He said they need to at least get one win coming out of here. They're going to take the Sunday game. I think Tony's going to do what he's been doing on Sundays, try different things, get a lot of pitchers work. And I think A&M's going to capitalize. And while it may not matter to Tennessee, it may mean all the things in the world that A&M leave in there with that win.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Adam, who you got?
I think Tennessee will sweep. I don't think it will be that close. And to be honest with you, I respect the hell out of Tennessee. A lot of times I watch them play, I'm rooting for the upset just because that's sports. They're going to sweep this weekend. Don't think it'll be too close. They'll especially win Friday night. You could maybe see something on Sunday. But if it's a slugfest, I'm still going to take Tennessee's lineup.
Yeah. For me, it's interesting because, I asked you the question, about national championship and what that means for Texas A&M coming into this matchup, Griffin. And I feel as though that when you add that piece to the fact that this is a must, you got to win. You almost have to win this series some kind of way. And it sucks that it's Tennessee and it's on the road. But knowing that, I feel like there should be some
take
extra.
This one, that's the turnaround. Not only do you finally
are you taking the upset right here?
So,
DB, are you taking it or not?
I'm not.
Oh,
okay. I really want to, because what I think it's going to come down to is if Texas A&M, if Prager can go out and be that dude on Friday night and they win, I think that I think the pressure then shifts to Tennessee on, all right, we have to figure out how to beat this team one time tomorrow, or it's
A&M dangerous, man. They win a couple and they start believing that they're good again instead of in this limbo of what's going on. Then that's when you see a team rattle off the Ole Miss national championship run.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the problem with A&M's schedule. I was just looking. So after you got Tennessee, then you get South Carolina, which is a good one. But then after that, you got Texas, Arkansas, and LSU consecutive. So I don't think there's a chance here. But maybe Tennessee just goes ahead and snatches their soul right here.
Maybe I'm talking myself into this because I feel like knowing that puts even more emphasis on winning this series, because if you can win this series,
you think they put emphasis on winning the last series when they were 1-5?
Look, here's the thing, Griffin. Last week, They put
Didn't
up
look like it, but
hold on, guys. Last week they put up a 17 spot in the midweek, and me and Daniel were like, you know what? That's going to give them the momentum to go into the weekend and win. And then what they do, they lost. Like, so I'm not buying into the 21 runs tonight. I saw this last week. Nah.
I agree. I'm gonna take the smart bet and go with Tennessee, even though I think it would be pretty solid for them to get back on track and just see a good series. I hope it's not this massacre that we saw tonight.
There's a stat for when I'm in Knoxville, Daniel. What are they, 23-0 or something over the last 2 years? So
that's the kiss of death right there. You just
they ain't gonna lose one. They ain't gonna lose one there.
All right, moving on. Alabama, Auburn. I'm gonna start with this. All right, so Alabama 25-4, the number 8 team in the country, going to Auburn 20-9, 16th team in the country. I'm gonna take a little bit of advice from you guys. It's hard to go on the road and win, so I'm gonna take Auburn. I think it's gonna be a nail biter. I think it's gonna be claw, scratch, extra innings. Just do what you can to get some runs. But I think Auburn's going to come away with it on Sunday. Jim, what you got?
Oh, yeah. You let these guys go after me. They can get all the good information. So let me tell you something. I think Auburn's a better team than Alabama. They just played Georgia, right? At Georgia, that's a whole different animal. I don't even think Justin LeBron is the best player in the series. I think it's Ike Irish on Auburn. They got Sam Dutton pitching on Fridays, who's been absolutely electric. He came from LSU. They weren't really giving him his shot. He went to Auburn. He's been thriving the whole time. Shout out Sam Dutton. Shout out Ike Irish, who's on a heater. Give me Auburn to take the series 2-3. And for my graphic to drop Justin LeBron out of the Golden Spikes race because his batting average sucks.
I mean, good thing you're not on Twitter anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Adam, who you got? Auburn, Alabama, who you taking?
I don't know how I can follow that one up, Jim. Well, rivalry game. Here's what I'll say. Rivalry series, not that all conference series aren't like super competitive and fiery. I think Justin LeBron is nasty. I think that 357 is a pretty good batting average. I would have taken it.
The other three shortstops, including your boy Merritt from Wake Forest, who are on my graphic, that everybody wanted to tell me Justin LeBron, they're all batting 411 or better.
That's
so I'm not impressed by 350.
I will say that Justin LeBron also has 52 RBIs right now.
Insane.
Jim is so unimpressed with LeBron that he's gonna talk about him while eating his food. Just mouthful of food. Just
for every walk off or home run shining moment LeBron has, he has an 0-for-4 performance. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. But here's what I like about Alabama. So I got to play against Maryland a couple times when Rob Vaughn was there, and they always put together pretty good teams in the Big Ten. They always had like no panic. They could always get themselves back in games. And I think Alabama is a similar type of team. I remember they went down big against Ohio State, no panic, scratch and runs. All of a sudden, one big inning, they take the win. And at the end of the day, winners win. Rob Vaughn runs a really good program. And I think Alabama takes 2 out of 3 at all.
Look at him bringing up the Jacks Classic where they won and came back in all 3 games.
Yeah, all 3 games actually, but the one was what, 12-0, 11-0,
10-0 to Ohio State. They were down 5-0 to Coastal. I know because me and Daniel, that was Daniel's prediction. Daniel said when they were down 10-0, he sent a text to me and said, "Well, they were down 5-0 the day before, so you never know." And then next thing you know, it was 10-9, and we were texting each other like, "Here we go."
Yeah, I mean, good teams do that. Good teams come back and win for sure. It's not luck.
Griffin, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go off my theme here. And I'm originally I have Auburn written down, but I haven't got to see Auburn play this year. I watched Alabama play Tennessee, beat them, played them hard. It was at home for Alabama, but I'm gonna go against my trend here. I'm gonna take Bama winning the series, not a sweep. Nobody sweeps on the road in this conference, so I got Bama in 2.
Except for Ole Miss this week, they're going to Kentucky and taking 3 in a row. All right, Adam, let's start with you on this next one. Wake Forest traveling to Florida State, going to Tallahassee, baby. Who you got?
Well, everybody go ahead and pick Florida State, so I can take the Deeks here and take my win.
You don't follow me on social media at all.
I think. Listen, Florida State's tough. It's a tough place to play at. It's a really tough place to play at, without a doubt. That's going to be a grind of
There's a
series.
Wake Forest poster behind me. What's he talking about?
They got obviously Arnold on Friday night. It's a tough matchup. Wake sputtering a little bit in their starting rotation. It'll be tough for them to win it, but I would never pick against them. Wake will sweep the weekend.
Hot takes, hot cakes. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, what do I gotta say? What do I gotta say? The Deeks are gonna lose? No chance.
The same guy that said, what are you doing picking a sweep on the road?
That's a school, man.
He's a homer pick.
Well, excuse my school, and y'all all frown at me.
It's a homer pick, but I'm a homer.
Right.
Oh, I'm not.
You told me it was Tennessee versus the Dodgers with torpedo bats,
right?
and I still got to say Tennessee's going to win.
You're saying Tennessee's sweeping. You're not.
I'm saying they are shelling anybody. Ohtani's striking out every at bat. Yeah,
exactly. I'm with you there.
Hey,
I got my boys sweeping. Let's go.
There we go.
Get on track.
It's
all right,
more.
Well, I'll go ahead and take it.
More than just a school, man. It's more than just a school.
I'll take the point up with Adam. FSU's arms too much. Too good down there at home. Hard place to play. I played there when I was at Cincinnati for sure. Adam's right on that, and I think there's just too much talent on the mound. Wake's struggling a little bit. Wake will be fine. I'm not saying Wake's not going to be fine. They will be, but I just think this isn't the team to go down and figure stuff out against. So I'll take FSU, but I'll give Wake a win.
Yep.
I think that you want to know something cool about FSU. I'm living in Tampa now, and I think all three of their starters are from Tampa Jesuit, like the same high school. How ridiculous is that?
Florida baseball is different, man. I'll tell you that.
Unbelievable. But go ahead, JB.
I will take Florida State, and I don't even have to go into why. Like, I think we all know why.
That's fair.
Jim, who you got?
I'm trying to see when Ethan Conrad will come back. But
Jim's trying to talk himself.
Jim, he's supposedly DHing this weekend.
Oh man, look, that's all I needed. Look,
listen,
everything in the world points to Florida State. But I'll tell you what, everything in the world pointed to Wake Forest taking care of business at home against Louisville last weekend. Look what happened. Wake Forest is going to feel it like, they said 7-5 in conference. They need this one bad. They don't want to get under 500. They're going to walk into Florida State, take 2 out of 3, lock it up.
I love it.
Hey, all right.
Someone's got to do it.
Next one, UC Irvine at Oregon State. 2 teams that it's just I'm too sleepy to really stay up and watch and follow these 2 teams as much as I should. But I will say this. I think when you look at this matchup on paper, the number 11 team versus the number 12 team, 21-5, 20-6, like it's a pretty solid matchup that we got. Jim, I'll start with you, man. What you got? What you know about?
I mean, I've seen Oregon State. I've seen Oregon State play plenty. I haven't seen UC Irvine once. I mean, I only ranked them basically because enough teams made a case to not be in the top 25 that I was willing to just put them in there at 24. But that being said, but not knowing anything about them, I'm definitely not picking them on the road. So give me Oregon State.
All right. I will take Oregon State for the simple fact that at the beginning of the season, we had Omaha predictions, and I put Oregon State in my Omaha 8. And so with that, I would say this is a series that they need to win to prove that they belong there.
Key to hosting.
Yep, I'm taking the Beavs. Adam, who you got?
I got the Beavs too. No question. I mean, I don't really have anything to back that up other than the fact that Bazana was there, and he was back in the lab with them, cloning some boys up, and a lot of them are trying to hit like him. So if they hit anything like him, they'll be all right.
They could hit half as good as he did, and they would still be really good.
And they'll smack UC Irvine. No disrespect to UC Irvine, but I'm just not the type of guy that would take.
This is your chance to pick up a W, Griffin. Go against the grain.
Yep. Who you got, Griffin?
Look, man, if there's anybody on this earth that likes UC Irvine that knows nothing about them, there's nobody that likes them more than me, because them boys have been closing out my parlays every night at 11 p.m. I don't even know if they win. I got to wake up and see if the thing hit. I'm like 5 out of the 6 legs in. Anteaters, boom, winning every time. So I'm going to go against it. And for as much money as they've made me this year, give me UC Irvine, going to Corvallis and winning. I don't know a single player on the team.
Why didn't you have him go before me? I want to follow that.
I don't know a single player on the team. All I know is they close my parlays out way more than they should, because I got to put in a 10 o'clock start game in there, and I'm asleep by the time the game's over. And I wake up Saturday morning, scroll down, and see a green check mark by the Anteaters.
What a nice feeling to wake up to money.
I mean, isn't that wild? Like, the whole point of like betting was so that you like have some interest in the game that you're betting. And I agree. Like, if I bet them, there's no way in hell I'm staying up to watch them. So
no, they're always like my last leg. They're always like minus 210 to win against Cal Baptist or Utah Valley, and I'm like, this is a lock. I mean, the Anteaters, they're like they're gonna win. This is a lock. So I chuck them in there. It takes me from plus 210 to plus 390, and I go to bed. And
all I know is if you see them matched up against the Blue Hose of Presbyterian, don't even bet them.
I'll tell you what, if you want to make some money, fade Pepperdine. Ooh. I know it's a nice school, but man, just pet anybody that
we're gonna have a new segment on our show. We're gonna have Griffin on here giving the picks. I'm telling you, the parlays.
Who we got?
All right. Last one.
Texas.
Georgia traveling to Austin. Adam, I'll start with you, man. What two big powerhouses here going at it in Austin. Who you taking?
Yeah, when Jim hit me up to come on and pick, I asked him if he was surprised by Texas a little bit. I don't even know, Jim. I don't even know if you really gave me an answer for that.
I did. I said that they were better than LSU, but LSU's bullpen gave up 13 free passes.
Yeah.
But I said if they can do it against Georgia too, that will solidify that wasn't just a one weekend thing. They are the cream of the crop.
My apologies to Jim. I'll take Georgia 2 out of 3.
Georgia 2 out of 3. Griffin, who you got?
Georgia bangs, man. Like I've watched them play. They bang. But
85 home runs in 31 games.
No, they thump. But the mound scares me, which is a little weird with Wes Johnson being there.
That was when we picked him to be good this year, Griffin. It wasn't predicated on offense. They lost Condon, they lost Collins. They had all these pitchers come in.
Yeah,
like you said, they were going to see Wes Johnson. We thought they were going to thrive on pitching. And yeah, we could have never. I mean, you got the dude Zabowski. I've never even heard of the guy before. Graduate transfer. He's sitting there batting like 465 with 15 home runs and 48 RBIs. I never heard of the kid before.
Yeah, just Georgia. I mean, great season. Can't deny wins are wins. But I just think I want to pick Georgia, but I just think that this is going to be a low scoring series. Like, I think Texas has good arms. I think it's going to kind of keep Georgia in check. I think Texas scores enough off of Georgia's suspect arms. I think the ballpark plays to a smaller scoring series. I think it's more, I think it's just a more of a defensive series. So for that, I got to take Texas.
All right. Against the grain, but at home. Jim, who you got?
Yeah, I've been back and forth on this one. It's really a lot of what he said because I feel like Georgia can bang, but I watched LSU go in there with a lineup that could too, maybe not hit the home runs, but we have the best batting average as a team in the country and struggled against that pitching. And their crowd, it may not have the numbers of some of the other ones, but it's pretty electric. It seemed to rattle a lot of the guys coming out of the bullpen. And when you look at the Georgia bullpen guys, they've given up a lot of runs. So I think Texas can win, like, Griff was saying, a tight, low-scoring game and at least one, if not two of them, and ultimately maybe score a lot of runs on that bullpen. So give me Texas taking 2 out of 3.
Ooh. Wow.
It's advantageous for LSU anyway. We lost to Texas. I just let them look good.
So for me, I'm not taking Texas. I'm going to take Georgia. And here's why. I've watched Texas in 2 midweek games, and I know it's midweek, but one was against UTSA, which they lost in extra innings, and then the other was against Texas State. And Texas State, not a bad little baseball club, but they ain't Georgia.
They lost to Texas State tonight.
And so, as those things happen, I'm thinking to myself, especially the game that I'm looking at most recently that they just lost tonight. And I think, well, who's the next opponent? And it's Georgia. And I'm like, there's no way. Georgia's
they won 21-1. So you're saying they're locked in.
Yeah, they're locked in. They're ready. And it's not, they're just going to hit more home runs. So let's get ready for that.
I think I might be wrong on. It's definitely this. Like this one could, I think this is the best. Obviously, the ranking says it, but this is the best match of the weekend, undoubtedly.
Yeah, I could see though. I could see it being a different type of game, much low scoring. Like we're not going to see 21 runs. I'm pretty sure of that. But like a 6-5, 6-4, something like that game where you get one home run, maybe a solo shot here or there. But I think Georgia's gonna go in and take 2 or 3. I really do. I think they're that good. And
Daniel, if it wasn't for, because me and liking to go around places, if it wasn't for Tennessee being the most hospitable fan base of anywhere I go to, I'd definitely be at LSU to Oklahoma or be at Georgia, Texas, because those are now bigger series, which I would have never thought coming into this season.
Yeah.
Man, Knoxville wines and dines you, Griffin. Like, there's nowhere else I'd rather go. I like going there more than LSU. They take care of people.
I'll tell you, man, I went on my visit. I was supposed to go to Arkansas right after and then to Texas, and I didn't get out of Knoxville, man. I got stuck there.
By design, man. By design.
I think Paul Skeens is the only person that's ever survived Tony's couch. So I'm being honest.
He said, Paul, come over here and have a seat, big fella. Let me talk to you.
I hope he did say that.
No, I guarantee it didn't go down like that.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, talking one-on-one to Paul Skeens is one of the most awkward conversations you can have at that point. He's now gotten more seasoned, but my dude is not a conversationalist at all.
No, not at all.
He's doing all right though. He doesn't need to talk.
This was Jim talking to Paul Skeens.
Hey Jim, how you doing? I like to play baseball.
We got to smile a couple times that first episode.
Yeah, we did. I mean, it takes a little bit to get him going, get him warmed up, but I mean, the guy's got a lot of pressure. I mean, he's elite level, and hey, whatever works. Clearly, whatever he's doing is working. So I just keep doing it.
True that.
But guys, anything you guys got? Anything you want to talk about? Anything that's pressing before we get up out of here? It's late.
Well, who did Adam pick for Georgia, Texas?
I picked Georgia 2 out of 3.
All right.
I picked Georgia 2 out of 3.
There you go.
I'm going 7-1, and the reason I say 7-1 is I think after Griffin said something about UC Irvine and his picks and his parlays, I have a feeling he's going to hit on another parlay, and I'm going to feel that one. So I'll settle with 7-1.
Hedge your bet. Hedge your bets.
Can't even tell you what
just go bet them in a parlay.
I mean, I'm probably going to go bet them now this weekend, and if they lose, Griffin can blame me. He'll be like, "Look, man, that was my team. You jumped in on them, and look what happened."
Man. Well,
I will say when I take them in like ridiculous midweek matchups, but hey, Oregon State's the next up, man. I got to ride them.
If I just bet individual games, Griffin, I'd be rich by now. But Daniel will tell you, I do all these parlays, and I'll always miss by one. I've hit a bunch of them, but I've obviously lost a lot more. So I'm way in the green just because I hit the big ones. But people are always like, why don't you do less? And the thing is, it's like if you go back to LSU 2023 in the regionals, I had a 10-leg parlay. And they had to cover 1.5 against Oregon State, and they won on a Braden Joe Bear solo shot. So it's the most bittersweet moment. LSU wins. They win 6-5. It was a 10th game. People say, well, you should have done 10. You should have done less. I was like, LSU was the first team I put on the parlay, so that mattered. But if I just bet individual games, I'd be straight. But there's no better feeling than hitting an 8 or 10 leg. And I mean, you put $20, you can win $3,000.
Jim, you know what they say, man. Don't quit. You're due. If you're going to quit, it would have been the next parlay that hit.
No, I haven't quit, but the best parlay I ever hit was not baseball. I don't even know much about NBA basketball, But Daniel, remember that night? I picked the Blazers, who were getting 10 points against the Lakers on the night that the Lakers returned after Kobe died, which I was told that was crazy. And I did it because
hating the Lakers after Kobe dying is insane.
And well, the thing was, the Blazers were on a run, and Damian Lillard had 3 straight 50-point games. And so I've watched that dude do it to enough people that I took it, and I won. I won $3,800 on $20, and they won by 30. They were up 20 at the end of the first quarter, and I was getting 10. It was the best feeling ever. I didn't even have to sweat one time. But the flip side, the next parlay I won after that was last year, March Madness. Kansas was the last game of the night against Samford. All they had to do was win money line. They were up 22 to a team that had never won a team in a tournament before, or never won a game in a tournament before. They brought it all the way back to tied with 27 seconds left. I thought I was going to throw up.
And that's how the cookie crumbles.
Why you don't bet, kids?
Well, the best thing that I would be a crazy degenerate if I could bet on my phone. You can't in the state of Mississippi. You have to go to a casino. If I had access on my phone, it'd be out of control.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't even bet on baseball because I'm still working.
You can't even bet down there. You got the hard
talk
rock.
About this. You guys are gonna get my ass fired.
Do you know because one of my best friends down the street, he's an SEC umpire, guys. He can't go to a casino ever, period. He cannot be step foot on casino grounds as long as he's employed. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy.
that'd be rough. I wouldn't even be like, I don't know. I'm sure they pay you well. So that's that.
I mean, because you can bet just about year round on who's going to win a championship or whatever. Like, so I mean, I guess the theory is you could go put your bet on your team that you're going to try to help win all year.
I mean, you just need a translator. That's all. Let them do your best for you.
Right.
Do you go to jail for that if you get caught? If you were umpire and you bet on games and then got caught fixing them, you actually go to jail, or you just get?
No, it's not illegal. It's not illegal to bet on.
No, if you're fixing them though, if you bet on them and then you actually get caught doing something to help that team.
No,
it's not illegal in law. Like that's, I don't think that's a law.
Should be. I'm thinking about it, and it should be
ethically, and it's probably against the rules of the game.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something, boys. We'll sign off with this because we were talking about all the changes earlier, and we talking about ethically. It used to be ethically wrong for me to take college baseball players to a Grizzlies game, but now I just take them and sit them on the floor seat, and I can buy them whatever I want. Everything's changed, Daniel. We'll be able to do this too.
I mean, let's go.
Let's start. You got to start bringing umps on here and making stuff happen.
We've had that ump, the best ump, and anytime we ask a controversial question, his answer is, "I'm just an umpire. I call balls and strikes."
That's it.
He avoids them.
That's a good answer. All right, boys, we got to get out of here. It's been real. I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna have a good week. I think this is gonna be a good weekend for me.
For sure.
I don't know about y'all.
I think it's past your bedtime.
Let me plug something super quick. There's a young buck from my area. His name is Vance Halverson. He's a young, middle school, high school baseball player. Got in a little bit of an accident, and he's looking for prayers and some support from the baseball community. So anything, keep Vance in your prayers. If you see anything about him, give him a shout out. But trying to get him through some stuff, and hoping that would be great for him.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Vance,
But I appreciate you guys having me on air, and anytime, I'm always available.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm washed up now, so whenever I get a baseball talk, man, I know my girlfriend's real happy I'm not talking to her about it. So,
hey,
right,
don't
Appreciate it,
tell
guys.
us that. We'll be bringing you back. Don't tell us that. And Daniel, I got one more thing before you get off here. I just got the best text ever. Colton Coates is going to give me one of them Louisiana Tech baseball hats they wore tonight with the stars and stripes. Oh man, guys, they may have got meleeed by LSU, but they were the best looking team in the country tonight. Black jerseys with red, white, and blue writing on them. The Louisiana State symbol with red, white, and blue is it's fantastic. So patriotic.
Yeah, and with that, we're out. We'll see y'all next time.